Okay. Having some issues here, but trying to pull it off. I actually recorded an entire last video for this, about an hour long, and then realized after I'd finished it and uploaded it, and I tried to go and watch it on YouTube, that somehow, well, not somehow, I think I know what happened. I downloaded a new version of the video recording software, this here, and somehow it changed a lot of the settings and it didn't capture any of the voiceover. So, which in a way may have been a good thing, because as I was watching it back, I realized I'd done a lot of talking, and I don't know, not sure that's such a great thing. But let me show you some of what I did. All I did really was, for the most part, was some EQ changes and some changes to the drums, just in the velocities. All I did to the drums is I went through them each section and adjusted some of the velocities between, the different, basically the bass drum and the snare for the most part. Try to make them more even. I noticed that like the bass drum was dropping out a little bit on the chorus parts, and I did some other tweaks to them. The other thing I did was I came into the bass here and cut some of the ultra lows out of the bass, just because I felt the bottom end was getting kind of rumbly and muddy. So the bass drum will be filling in most of that, I hope. I mean, it should. So I cut that on the bass, and on the vocal I did a boost here. The low high end, 1262 kilohertz. I did a 4.4 boost there. Try to brighten up the vocals a little bit. What else did I do? Anything? Oh, I put some reverb on the guitars and on the 2 rhythm guitar parts, and I was actually I started another video after I realized that the voiceover didn't work, and then for some reason the music wasn't working on that one, which is extra strange. But in any case, let's see here. Oh, I just wanted to make a comment about the reverb, and that you'll see here when these guitars come in by themselves, you can hear the reverb pretty well, but it might even be bordering on too much right now. I'm not sure, but what often happens with reverb then is you'll notice when the rest of the instruments come in, you almost don't hear it anymore, and that's often the case. I've done that many times, like with a vocal track. I've just been soloing the vocal track and adding reverb or something and think, okay, that's good. And then when you add it back in with the rest of the music, you maybe don't even hear the reverb. So in any case, I don't want to over talk. I kind of get a feeling I've maybe been over talking in these videos. So I'm just going to run this and let you hear it. This is my latest mix of it here. Here we go.
On my face, hold on, tired of bed, no place I'd rather be. Come on, don't be afraid now. Come on, don't be afraid. You're what I like. You're what I like. You're what I like. what I like. You're 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 what I like.
And there you have it. One other thing I forgot to add was that I did add some delay to the vocal. I went into much depth about what I was doing with the delay, but I can go over it with you quickly here. I synced it to the tempo of the song, which makes all the repeats in time with the tempo of the song. In other words, like they're going to be landing on exactly, in this case I think it was dotted eighth notes. Let's see. Yeah, went with a dotted eighth note repeat. And then just talked about feedback is like the number of repeats you have, and level is how much the repeats, how loud the repeats are. And filter mode is, I basically used a low pass filter, and what that does is it makes the sound of the repeats a little different from the main vocal, and gives a contrast there. And in this case, it's kind of cutting off the highs, so the repeats will be a little darker sounding, or a little, have a little more low end sound than the main vocal. There's other, you could do the opposite here. Here's a high pass filter if you turn it this way, and then this is a I think is that a band pass? Basically, it's like a boost. It's like a mid-range boost. I think it's cutting the lows and the highs and boosting the mids. So I added that on just to give the vocal a little more depth. I know I said that I often in the past I've gone with a dry vocal without any reverb and delay, and that's true. But I don't know. Just lately, I've been kind of enjoying the delay, and I didn't put any reverb on the vocal this time, but I often do, and maybe I even will. I often do many revisions, and it can be a lot of different reasons why. It can be just about anything. You make, burn a disc or something of. That's what I do. As I burn discs, listen to them over time, and just develop a different opinion over time. Basically, you'll hear different things on different systems, and just over time, I find you often things, kind of come out at you over time that maybe you didn't hear on your first or second or even third pass sometimes. Of course, I'm happy if I don't have to do any revisions, but sometimes I do, I don't know, 10 revisions. Usually when I start getting up around 10 revisions, I start thinking, okay, that's enough, Unless there's something absolutely glaring, which there shouldn't be after 10 revisions. Come on. At least I don't think so. After you've done 10 revisions of a song, anything you're hearing at that point is debatable whether or not it's worth fixing, I think. So that's generally how I think of that. So I guess I'll be drawing to a close here. I mean, I suppose I could come back and make more videos if and when I make any more revisions, which is possible. But it's also possible that I won't. I don't know. In a way, I've kind of been more intensive on this than I normally am. But we'll see what happens. And I know this is going to be a short video, but I've done a lot of talking in these videos, more than I intended. But it was my first attempt at doing something like this, so I apologize for the mistakes, and I hope it was enjoyable and or informative. And I guess I'll be signing off now. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.